Today is not only tariff day, today is Census Day. President Trump putting out a Truth Social earlier today. I'm live, obviously, at the White House. Big news saying that he wants the Department of Commerce, led by Howard Lutnick, right away to start a new census going into the next decade. Because he says, look, we need a census now because what's happening is we're counting illegals. They shouldn't be counted. Remember, Joe Biden's whole objective.
Hello guys, welcome to my social commentary. My name is Ransom Joseph. Okay, our President Donald Trump is making news headline again. Yes. This time, he's ordering the Department of Commerce to conduct a brand new census. And here is the funny part. I'm just learning that census is done every 10 years because I'm not. He has ordered the Department of Commerce to conduct a brand new census. And here is the question. Is our president above the law? Or why isn't he acting according to the constitution that says that census should be conducted every 10 years? Yes, this move is already sparkling debate across the country because this census is not just about head counts. Yes, it's not just about head counts. It decides where the billions of dollars in federal funding go and how congressional seats are being divided into.
Tariff day.
Just watch this.
Today is Census Day. President Trump putting out a Truth Social earlier today. I'm live, obviously, at the White House. Big news saying that he wants the Department of Commerce, led by Howard Lutnick, right away to start a new census going into the next decade. Because he says, look, we need a census now because what's happening is we're counting illegals. They shouldn't be counted. Remember, Joe Biden's whole objective, the Biden-Harris objective, the Obama objective, opening up the borders, letting 20 million, 25 million people in, no vetting anything. It was just for one reason. To get new votes, basically. Start with a census, get more Democratic seats, and then eventually do that Nancy Pelosi H.R. 1 where everybody votes, doesn't matter if you're a citizen or not, and they would have had control forever. That was stopped with Trump's victory. That's why he wants a new census. Now, that is going to happen. That is going to start to be in play immediately. Meantime, President Trump increasing the tariffs on India, not because he's mad at India for anything or because of our tariffs, because India continues to buy Russian oil and gas, funding their military effort. So he's going to leverage his tariffs against India. They're not going to be able to sell anything here as long as they continue to buy Russian Federation oil and gas, funding their effort in Ukraine. Now, right now, what's happened in this war in Ukraine, President Trump sensing that the end for Ukraine is near. His instincts are solid. That's why he's trying to get a peace deal. Right now, Putin has amassed 160,000 troops on the border. These are fresh conscripts. Oh, they're not tired. They're not underfed. They're not war weary. These are fresh troops. He's trying to get the Odessa region. He's also got weaponry there that Kiev can't stop. And if he takes Odessa, he's then going to flatten Kiev. There's going to be a tremendous amount of carnage. The president knows this. He's sensing it. That's why he now wants to get a deal on the table. The deal is going to have to include giving Odessa to the Russians because they're going to get it no matter what happens. But what has really turned the tide on this war in favor of Putin and the Russians is not because we're not giving them enough aid. They're simply, the Ukrainians are running out of troops. They're just running out. And as usual, the Russian military machine plays a game of attrition, right? So they got 160,000 fresh troops going there. Now, the other thing is that you got to remember is at the beginning of this war, it looked like there was going to be an uprising. Russian moms very upset about their sons and daughters dying. Well, that's quelled. I mean, you're going to have people marching in Moscow, and if they're men, they get gas, the tanks come in. You can't do that to mothers. You just can't do it. And so what's happened now, though, is so many moms have lost children in Ukraine that now they want to win so that their life of their son or daughter means something. This has really changed what Putin is dealing with. So President Trump trying to end this thing ASAP to stop the carnage, because the alternative is Putin is going to flatten Kiev, and that's going to be the end of it. Tariffs hit today. Sky isn't falling. Is the sky falling? Are we all dead? No. Tariffs are hitting. Everything is fine. We're going to have to start manufacturing here. We got about $15 trillion now in manufacturing coming in. We're getting our sovereignty back. tariffs are working. If your 401k goes down a little bit in the next couple of days, hang in there. It's going to go right back up because Trump's doing all the right things, and these tariffs are going to make a huge difference.
So you may have heard that Donald Trump is supposedly ordering, this is according to a stupid Truth Social post, that he's ordering the Commerce Department to conduct a new census. Now, couple things about that. The most obvious is they're supposed to be conducted every 10 years. The next isn't supposed to be conducted until 2030. Now, so it's unconstitutional for that reason, but there's other reasons. And I know we don't follow the Constitution much in this country anymore, but I still think it's important that we all understand the legality of the issue here. Number one, aside from the every 10 years thing, the Constitution is explicit. Only Congress has the authority to order a new census. So any census conducted by Donald Trump that has not been authorized by law passed by Congress is null and void. It has no force of law, and it should be ignored. Also, if he were to conduct a census that has not been authorized by Congress, that would be a flagrant violation of the Constitution and would constitute an impeachable offense, which if Congress is controlled by Democrats, if Democrats win the midterms, they should move to impeach him. That should be one of the many counts of impeachment against Donald Trump. Also, if he spends 1 penny from the Treasury conducting a census that has not been authorized by Congress, he will have violated the appropriations clause of the Constitution. He can only spend money that has been authorized by Congress, appropriated by Congress. So if he spends even a penny from the National Treasury conducting a census that has not been authorized by Congress, that is yet another violation of the Constitution and yet another impeachable offense. I don't know if he's actually going to go through with attempting to do that. Oh, finally, if he does do this, the census is null and void. I might have said this, but it's completely null and void and should be ignored by the states. They should not reapportion their congressional districts based on this illegal census. Now, I don't know if he's actually going to go through with this. There's no executive order listed on his website. We just have his stupid Truth Social post. So it may not be real. Of course, I wouldn't doubt it if it is, because he's trying desperately to rig the midterm elections. But it could also be an attempt to distract from his involvement with Jeffrey Epstein. So
Trump just instructed his Commerce Department to redo the census and exclude illegal immigrants. Finally! This is blatantly unconstitutional. How? Section 2 of the 14th Amendment makes it clear, and this is an extension of Article 1, Section 2, Clause 3 of the original Constitution, but it says, quote, representatives shall be apportioned among the several states according to their respective numbers, counting the whole number of persons in each state, excluding Indians not taxed. It says the whole number of persons in each state, not citizens, not voters, not excluding undocumented people. It says whole number of persons. Yeah, but even there it makes an exception for Indians not taxed. And you always say the Constitution is sometimes outdated and needs to be amended. And our founding fathers could never imagine millions of illegal immigrants flooding our nation. Well, when our country was started until 1875, we basically had open borders, so they could imagine it. They just didn't call them illegal. Well, that was because we were a new country focused on survival and growth. We needed people to expand our economy. But now we do have immigration laws, and it makes no sense that states with more illegal immigrants get more congressional representation. It does make sense when you read the 14th Amendment, and Trump acting like he could just order his Commerce Department to defy the Constitution is blatant fascism. He tried this in 2020 when he signed a memo saying undocumented people shouldn't be counted, but then a New York court struck it down. And then it went to the Supreme Court and they dismissed the case for procedural reasons. Well, yeah, because the census numbers hadn't been finalized yet, so the court said it was too early to hear the case. And then when Biden was elected, he immediately overturned the memo. But I guarantee it, if the Supreme Court heard it again, they'd block it as it is blatantly unconstitutional. And in a separate case in 2019, they stopped Trump from adding a citizenship question in the census. Again, on this issue, the Constitution is a little outdated, which is why our founding fathers offered a way to update and amend the Constitution, which should be done here. Yeah, which will require 2/3 of both the House and Senate and 3/4 of the state. But Trump isn't suggesting that. He's suggesting blatant defiance. Unfortunately, we live in a situation where Democrats vastly benefit electorally with the existence of illegals. Elon suggested it gives them 20 extra seats. So we need to look at other options. Like maybe Congress should pass a bill that redefines what persons means in this context. Or the courts can redefine it, because I guarantee you most Americans agree illegals shouldn't be represented represented in Congress. Yeah, Elon was likely exaggerating. A 2020 Pew Research finding suggested removing undocumented people will result in an electoral wash. And I also think most Americans would agree we should follow the Constitution. Well, we don't know for sure because we have no idea how many illegals are here. And I agree, we should follow the Constitution. And sometimes new emergencies call for new interpretations. Persons should be citizens. Yeah, good luck arguing with the law on that one. Good luck looking like that for the rest of your life.
The census for citizens only. President Trump is issuing a new order to his government to take a new measurement of the country and to leave undocumented immigrants out of the calculations. Is there an actual plan behind this, or was this sort of one of those Donald Trump posts that he hopes people follow along with?
I think it's the latter, Dana. It's very unclear as of now whether or not his team is going to try and move forward with this. But also, I mean, this is something we've seen before from the president himself. I remind you, back in 2020, in the lead up to that census, the president was fighting repeatedly to try and insert a citizen question into that. It would be the first time that was changed since 1950. Now, ultimately, the Supreme Court had blocked it then, but we still saw the president try and move to kind of request citizen data from other agencies. But I also think what's important is that this is, of course, would be a long-standing shift in census practices. The surveys historically counted all residents regardless of immigration status, and the census website actually cites Article 1, Section 2 of the Constitution on that reasoning. But I think what's really important here about all of this, Dan, of course, is the timing of it. It comes as the president is really encouraging Texas Republicans and other Republicans in red states to try and redraw congressional maps to help boost their chances in the 2026 midterms. And redistricting, of course, usually takes place after the census is done, and that happens every 10 years. The next time it's up is not till 2030. All to say, I think we still have to figure out whether or not how committed the president actually is to this, but I do think everything that's going on with them looking forward to the midterms is definitely playing a factor in this.
So Donald Trump has ordered the Department of Commerce to do a new census. And if you know anything about census, they're supposed to be done every 10 years. We had one done in 2020. So our next one is not set to be done until 2030. And the census takes account everybody in the United States, not just legal residents. He is trying to have this census just count legal residents. And during his last term, he tried to pull the same stunt, and it got shot down by the courts. So this is illegal, and I am just over it. I am just over every single day him waking up, thinking that he's a king, thinking that he can do whatever he wants. So keep your eye out. Apparently he wants a new census done. It's wild. Every day is just absolutely absurd. And I know I can't be the only one that's sick of the constant breaking news.
Now, what I'm about to explain to you might sound normal at first, but let me tell you what's really going on, because this should frighten you. Donald Trump has ordered that cities and states conduct census counts before the decade is over, as in right now. Now, why is this not normal? Well, census counts are normally conducted every decade. So the last one was done in 2020. The next one is supposed to be done in 2030. This allows us to count our population so we know how to adjust for the House of Representatives. Now, Donald Trump is saying he wants to do it right now, right as Texas is redistricting their map so they can add 5 additional Republican seats. He wants other red states to be able to conduct mid-decade redistricting efforts, and by doing the census now, he'll have every excuse in the book to tell the country that it was perfectly okay for them to try and find votes, for them to try and rig and cheat on the midterm elections, on the 2028 election. So this is absolute insanity right now. Hopefully this doesn't come to fruition, but with Donald Trump, when he wants something, he usually does it. And this is one that is definitely going to have serious ramifications for our country.
Okay, welcome back. I'm back to the supporters, because once there is news flash online, there will be critics and there will be supporters. So in the aspect of supporters are saying it's about getting accurate counts and putting America first. Yes, getting accurate counts and putting America first. A way to shift representation, resources, and power. They tagged it, change the number, and you can change the political map. So tell us what you think about this in the comment section. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe. Gotcha.